What's up, Zox fam? Now we're going to be diving into the co-op boss fights and just co-op in general, right? Now I wanted to take a look at some of the combat from CBT1 with the co-op so we can actually kind of see what they at least presented. And then going into CBT2, we're going to be reanalyzing it and just kind of doing some compare and contrasting based off of the changes and or differences that we might come across. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so let's see. So it's actually really cool because I think I think it's up to 3 people, or sorry, 2 additional people, including yourself, that you can go into co-op with, which is actually pretty fire.
I shall get serious. It's all right.
So let's see. So it looks like off rip, you basically have the capability of aggroing. So if you notice, there's the one person. So hold on, let's go back real quick, right? So I kind of like what they did here was they kind of showed like them running around and how the boss was aggro to one person, right? So the boss is not paying this Gian any mind, right? So what that allows you to do is that, like, for example, that person rotated and aggroed the boss and it turned it. So now that Gian has free reign to go for back legs, top of the boss or the turtle shell for that bell. And hopefully they get up there so you can see like what kind of damage you can do on that. Nice. Nice. So if this is your first time ever seeing this boss specifically is like one of the annoying mechanics to it is the fact that it simply will aggro you, right? So when you're trying to get on top of it, like, yeah, you can be up there, and there's certain characters that have a much easier time with like looping themselves like up there while they're doing damage, like Gian, for example, because he kind of has like this, I don't want to say a flying mechanic, but it kind of sort of gives him a good amount of airtime. You know, you're gonna have it to where that is like going to be the most sensitive spot where you can get the most damage. And the thing is that, like I said, with the co-op, it's making it a lot easier because that mechanic where you're getting aggroed, that one person is going to be actually taking that on. So I could see like the units like Tao Chi, like for example, how they're using Tao Chi here, taking that specific, like role here. And that kind of is actually interesting too, because we really haven't talked too much about roles, especially when we're in like co-op and like if you really need a tank versus if you need a DPS or a healer, like things of that nature. So it's really cool to see like how they're already kind of strategizing the roles and placement of who's doing what based off of what characters they're using. Yeah, see that airtime where he goes up with the spear, brings the boss down. It does drop you though, because it is like some weird, like wherever the hitbox is and like where you can actually stand, it's a little weird. Just like beat 'em up simulator right now. Nice with the ult. Boom. Good way to finish that off. And the boss spazzes at this point. Yep, right there. Crazy thing is this like Twitter's boss can actually like jump across the map and like it does quite a bit as it gets stronger. So one thing I do wish that they would do with like these boss fights, especially like the more colossal ones, is like phases, right? I think that actually could be like something to add to like, you know, a challenge mode, like not necessarily like the base things that we have to farm on a regular basis, because I do get we have to farm those. So you don't want those to be as like, you know, that challenging to that degree when you have to do it every single day. But I think that like in future content, having like boss modes where like, you know, you're fighting a boss and then, you know, the tortoise brings out a whole bunch of baby tortoises, right? That would actually be kind of like cool, because I think like, for example, or like while you're fighting the boss, like whoever's aggroing the boss has to continue to aggro the boss, and that person on the outside is going to have to deal with ads from, you know, the boss, right? So that's going to be like some extra layers that they could add to actually make this really, really cool. So yeah, really excited to see what they do with that. And I think with this boss, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's only like one move this boss specifically has that you can actually parry. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's only like one. I literally think it's one, and it's like the hydro blast that it does. But yeah, even trying to parry that, you know, it's gonna take some getting good. So that was pretty smooth. That was pretty smooth. What boss we got next? Oh, Thunder Squama. Okay. Now this is actually a really interesting boss for co-op because this boss has a lot of parry potential. You know, like one of the bosses that has a lot of parry potential. So looks like they're going Danjin and Jian. Oh, that should have been a parry. Yeah, it looks like, of course, like in co-op, you're going to be able to knock the boss down a lot easier. The boss is just receiving way more damage.
Concentrate.
Yeah, I love co-op, dude. I love like the beat 'em up type like situations here where there's just a lot going on. Everybody's kind of popping off. You're still able to get your dodges off. And it looks like, I wonder if they can double parry or not, because that would actually be pretty cool. Okay, that was a single parry. Nice. Jian got that parry, knocks him.
The shape will break the shape.
Strike the upper.
Yeah, it's just like, and this is actually like really insane. Like this is a lot going on.
Fixed time.
That's the oh, he disappeared. There, oh, double parry. Okay, there it was. Okay. I was wondering. I was like, I wonder if they can get a double parry because that's huge. Hold on. Boom. Look at that. So you see the two circles? Hold on, guys. I'm gonna slow this down for you guys so you can see it, right? Because that's actually kind of nuts. That's actually really insane. So let's see real quick. Right? Wait, hold on. Oh, it's right there. So the boss comes, it slide in. Boom. Double parry. Yo. Okay, that's kind of clean. You know what, though? This is going to spark a special type of content where, because if you can run like 3 people, I think like something that'll be insane to see is you know, compilations or like just even like run throughs of people being able to get off like double or triple parries and stuff like that. Like, you know how insane that would be? Yo, I'm probably giving somebody a gold mine right now, but like, my God, that's actually something I might try to attempt because that actually is like really cool. Like that aspect, because most games that usually have like these parry mechanics, they might be like, you know, single player experiences. So the fact that you can actually do stuff like that in a cooperative mode is kind of insane. Not gonna lie. That's actually very insane. Yo, that double parry is crazy. Nice.
Concentrated strike.
Boom.
So you enjoy 40 years?
Okay. Yeah, this boss doesn't stand a chance. I see like the lightning field is a little bit more, oof. Yeah, it seemed like it was kind of raging a little bit more with the lightning field there. Nice.
Let me take it.
And this is a really interesting boss for co-op because it doesn't like just necessarily aggro one person because it moves around so much. So that's like a clear like difference between the bosses, right? Yeah, that's definitely like one of the clear differences between the bosses. Like you have one where you can actually have a person manipulating it and you're able to kind of have that benefit of like, okay, somebody can go to the back, target the legs, go up to the top, you know, hit that bell, you know, and then you have characters like this where they move so much. I mean, Squama is actually teleporting all over the place. So, I mean, even when you're thinking about the bike rider or even, I forgot what the flying boss is, but they move around a lot. So I think that also is going to be kind of interesting too, because you don't have just the typical, oh, you can just use your one person and aggro that. Like, hey, everybody's going to have to kind of pay attention because, like, for example, this boss can just teleport in front of you and now you have to be ready to parry. So I think that's also going to be, again, another element just to make the game more fun and just allowing players to be able to experience this type of combat together is like really, really insane. So yeah, I mean, I can't lie, that's actually really fire.
Concentrated strike.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Oh, you know what though? And you know what else? I wasn't thinking about this, right? So the other thing is too, and it's something that you kind of have the luxury when you play co-op versus not playing co-op. Like when you're in the single player mode, you usually have like more opportunities to do like certain time stops. So like, for example, when you use your ultimate, the bosses don't keep moving. Like they actually, I guess like they kind of get frozen until you come back to like the full screen. Whereas in co-op, they have to continue it because technically you're playing with someone. So there's going to be those different aspects of like, as far as your timing and stuff like that, when you're using something. I wonder if the timing is slightly different when you're in co-op, just because of the fact that you don't have as many freeze frames when it comes down to like your animation just completely taking over and that being the basis of everyone. Like it's like, you know, more so that's your single player experience, and then that person also is experiencing the game in their own single player experience, but you're also playing the game together. So it's a lot that kind of goes into this. Now I think the next portion of this video, I think, is getting into the base, which kind of goes more into the tower content, which we'll focus on in other videos. But I feel like just for the aspect of co-op itself, just from CBT1, actually looked pretty good, right? And I think that one of the biggest things is, for me, what I would really like to see with co-op is one, other forms of and variations of co-op in the future. So I think it's always a thing to always kind of play upon with, having other alternatives to how, or other variations of it. So for example, that's like kind of like more of like just the worldly things where you can just go in, you take your two friends and you call it a day, right? But then there's also the talk of like world bosses. So like, just much bigger fights and really like more like raids and things of that nature. I think that would actually be kind of cool. Maybe like at that point, it allows players to kind of have that choice of just like using one of their characters at that point, right? Where you can actually go in, but instead of it just being a total of 3 people, it can be, say 5 or 6. Like, I think that those things, again, that is going to be taking some engineering, and obviously they'll have to make a little bit more money for them to be able to push out that kind of stuff. But I feel like for what they have, I could see those things potentially. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I feel like there is a lot of potential with the co-op, and there's always room for growth in terms of, what they could be adding. What do you hope to see in CBT2 with co-op? Because I know that that's also a completely different vibe and feel, more than likely, considering that the single player experience itself is already different. So let me know in the comment section down below. Everyone, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.